Hi guys, it is time to talk to Real Housewives of New Jersey. I had mentioned a woman named Jan in one of my videos a couple of days ago, and I read all of your comments. I try my best to respond to everyone, and I asked if you guys would like to hear more about her, and you guys said, yeah, you want to hear more about Jan. Jan was Melissa Gorga's dearest friend of 12 years when she came on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And her and Melissa ended up falling out. And Jan was actually doing interviews and she was not even taking money for it. She just wanted to give people the truth and let them know about Melissa Gorga because she was tired of Melissa lying. So before we get started, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Also, make sure that you set that notification button because you never know when I'm going to be dropping a video and you don't want to miss it because the whole point is, getting the tea and being up to date. So turn your notifications on. A couple of things before we get started. One, I want to let you guys know that I did a video not that long ago. Oh, sorry guys, I'm just miscombobulated today. It's Friday. I did a video not that long ago, and I mentioned a lady who was commenting on Melissa Gorga's Instagram, claiming to know her, claiming that she was a liar, and it said that she definitely did not tell Teresa that her and Joe were trying out for the show or that they were coming on the show, and that the lady claimed to have known this because she was at a birthday party with Melissa 12 years ago. Okay, so crazy that the information that I'm pulling for this article, for this content for Jen happens to be from about 2012, 2013, those couple of years, right? It gets crazy, guys. We're going to actually solve who this woman is that commented on Melissa Gorga's post because it just kind of died down. No one really brought it back up or tried to figure out who she was. But I found out who she was. So we're going to talk about that. It's important to understand that season 5, don't get upset with me. Don't get upset with me. Don't leave me in comments. It was knowledge that there were rumors that Melissa had cheated on Joe with her ex, Brian the Bulldog. All alleged, of course, but that was the rumor that was transpiring that season. This is the Strippergate season as well. So there was a gentleman named Johnny the Greek, and he claimed that Melissa danced for him. Now, Melissa came out and said that she was the bartender at a strip club, but she actually wasn't a stripper at the strip club. This guy took a beating, guys. When I tell you that, that area was like mob related, they're not just connected, they operate that same way, even if they're not affiliated, even if they're not in the mob or doing anything illegal, they still have a mentality and tend to operate the way someone that was connected would operate, okay? Because so after this guy comes out and said that Melissa danced for him, him and his wife were local to the area. They owned businesses, and allegedly Joe Gorga and Richie Keeley blew down on this dude at his business and made peace with him because, there was so much conflict surrounding this man that he didn't know what was going to happen with Joe Gorga and the Manzos because the Manzos backed Joe Gorga up. So he was thankful when Joe Gorga came to his establishment and they were able to squash it and make peace. Well, shortly after that, Kim D, you guys remember Kim, she had an opening for her second store. And you guys know what happened to that guy? He got beat the shit out of by allegedly Joe Gorga, Jackie, and Jackie's husband, Chris, who is a Manzo. Blood everywhere. Bravo was there. They got sued. And the guy died in 2016. He died like 2.5 years later. So it's really, really tragic. Anyways, he was part of the storyline. His wife, Penny, was part of the storyline. And Jan, who was friends with Penny and Melissa, also comes to be on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. She finds herself there. Melissa calls her and says, listen, I need a friend. These rumors are going around that I cheated on Joe. Now, here's another important part to know about Jan. Jan alleges that her and Melissa and other friends went out, and that Melissa got a hold of her ex, who is known as Brian the Bulldog, and that he met them at the sushi restaurant. Now, Jan claims to not know anything that happens after that because she did not leave with them. She left separately, but she also says that there was other people at the sushi bar that seen her and her ex together. So the rumors didn't necessarily come from her. There were other people there. She said they were like in a group of 8 people. She goes on to give us a million reasons and tells us exactly what Teresa tells us, that, you know, Melissa and Joe meet each other. They don't date very long before she moves in. Well, they both say, you know, that Joe had a $1.8 million home that he had just built that he was living in. When they went on a date, he took Melissa back to the house. So she saw how he was living, what he was living in, and she wanted a piece of that. And allegedly it was, you know, my roommate this and my roommate that, and I don't have a place to stay. And before you knew it, she was moving in with Joe. And then 6 months later they were engaged, 6 months later they were married, and 6 months later after that they were having their daughter. This woman alleges that Melissa was trying to get on the Real Housewives of New Jersey right off rip. She said that Melissa was nice to Teresa when she was dating Joe, but once they got married and had Antonia, that's when Melissa just did not play nice anymore. She wanted Jan to write a letter to Bravo and say that Teresa was hiding a younger, prettier, richer girl behind the scenes. Now, Jan claims she didn't write a letter to Bravo, but she knows someone who did. So let me give you some quotes now. I ran across this amazing interview with Jan, and I'm going to give credit in the description. But I have to tell you guys a couple of things. She claims to have known Melissa for over 12 years. She says they spent time together at the Jersey Shore when Melissa was dating Bulldog. He didn't have a job because he had broke his leg or something along those lines, and so they didn't have a lot of money, and they hung out at the shore. She also claims excuse me, that what made her upset was Melissa went on Watch What Happens Live and says that she was desperate for attention. That's why she started doing interviews and turning down the money for them, which is really hilarious. She says that, these are quotes now, Melissa would take me to Dina Manzo's Ladybug conventions at the Brownstone, and Melissa would follow the freaking camera around. Melissa would be seated in a back corner, and then she would always get up and prance in front of the camera. They ask her about the house that Joe and Melissa are living in. She says, the house they live in right now was built for them to live in or to sell. That's what the interviewer asked. And she says that what Joe does is he builds homes and sells them. So they are trying to live in the house, but they can't because they owe too much. And that's why they're selling it. And then she says, oh, they say, what did you think when she finally made it onto the show? Did she tell you? This is where we find out about the birthday. She said, yes, it was actually my daughter's birthday party. She came in and was like, they cast me. She was all excited, and I was so excited for her. She was like, don't tell anyone, though. And then she went around to every person and told them all that she was going on the show. They said, did she promise to feud with Teresa in order to be casted on the show? Absolutely, she did. They weren't going to bring anyone that wasn't going to bring any sort of drama. Then she goes on to explain how she came on the show. And then she also talks about how basically not very good about Melissa. I mean, she really just says Melissa's fake, that she is a liar, that she was trying to defend Melissa, that Bravo gave her a very terrible edit, cut a lot of the sentences that she had said about somebody else and made it look like she was saying it about Melissa, but she necessarily wasn't. That was the start of when she just said she couldn't do it anymore. She didn't want to, be part of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Now, we see some of that on scene in the episode, but what we didn't see was some of this stuff. And This is Jan saying that Melissa deserves an Academy Award. She says she is full of shit. She's a confused person now. Everything about her is a lie. She's like a shore girl. She slept around. She did whatever she could to get money. House. She pretends to be better than anybody. For example, her relationship book about how to keep a man, she's just trying to make money. First it was singing, now she's trying to write a book. The housewife is going to be short-lived. I mean, how long is she going to carry this out for? She doesn't have anything else. It's like she's not a real person. She goes on to say, oh my goodness, she says that Melissa is so cheap. She says she's selfish. She's seriously the kind of person who will go into a store and want everything for free. She never had style. She never knew how to dress. She called my sister or someone. Where did you get this? Or where did you buy that? If she saw Teresa wearing something, she had to find out where Teresa got it. She just never had a mind of her own. She went and took Teresa's freaking makeup artist, her hairstylist. It's just crazy. For her daughter's communion this year, she had people doubting if she really paid for the big party for Antonia and her dress because she was constantly tweeting about the designer, the vendors, plugging in their business. She even had a paparazzi photo agency take pictures at the reception, probably because it was for free. She did that because she probably didn't pay for the dress. Trust me, she gave a gift to my daughter once for her birthday, and the tag on the outfit said to Antonia. So she re-gifts. Oh, so crazy. Here she says, she was so nice to Teresa in the beginning. I don't like Teresa. I think she's sneaky. But I know for a fact Teresa tried to welcome her as a friend, a sister, and as soon as they got married, she started treating Teresa like shit. There you have it, guys. This is what Jan says. She didn't get paid for these interviews. She talks about Melissa, hooking up with different guys and how she didn't really want to be with Joe at first because he was short. But then when she went on a date with him and saw where he lived, all of a sudden she was really into him. And then, they asked Jan, okay, so ultimately, why do you think Melissa is making up this whole act? She says, right now, I think it's for the public eye so that they like her and not Teresa. This was in 2012. And she's putting on an act for Joe. Joe's family is old school Italian. He doesn't want to be with a girl who slept around. If he had known how many people she slept with, he would have never married her. Ouch, that hurts. Then she also comes out with an allegation. She says, Joe's very jealous. They're not allowed to go anywhere without each other. Melissa couldn't even come to her bachelorette party. Somehow whenever this took place that she supposedly met up with her ex-boyfriend, Joe was somewhere and she was able to do that. But 99% of the time, they always went places together. So she says he's very jealous. He slapped her in the face once because she was dancing with one of his friends down at the shore. He got mad at her because she was dancing with her friend and he thought she was flirting. She was dancing with him trying to be friendly and Joe didn't like that. So when they left the club, when they got in the car, he smacked her in the face. So that's what Jan has to say about Melissa and Joe Gorga. And I am, like I said, I will credit my source in the description because some of that I took from an interview on a website, and I want to give you guys the source on that because if there's ever a source, I think it's, I encourage everyone to go check it out. I'm still encouraging everyone to go back to season 1, episode 1, start from the beginning, or watch a little bit from each season because I think if you've just started watching The Real Housewives of New Jersey, or even if you've only been watching it for a couple of years, you're not going to get the full depth and dynamic of this trio and this conflict between Joe Gorga, Joe Giudice. I still think there's conflict between Joe Gorga and Joe Giudice, even though Giudice is living in another country. But that's just my opinion. So you guys let me know what you think. Let me know if you want to hear more, and we will talk soon.